I feel so blessed. My social security number is filled with eights. My cell phone is 8888888.
See like a number like 6 or 8, something like that. I feel just so happy. And I was
I
like,
know.
this is my destiny.
So what I see the real goal of tiger
Mhm.
parenting being is
Mhm.
instilling a deep inner strength, a kind of confidence that says, look, I believe in you more than anyone.
Is there a woman that you admire?
Catherine Graham, give yourself a break. There's much more give. There's much more leeway. Never not do something out of fear.
Hi everyone, so we're very honored today to interview Amy Shao. She's the author of the bestseller book, The Battle Hymn of Tiger Mother. And also she's been recognized by Times Magazine as 100 most influential people. And people always call her Tiger Mom. So without further ado, let's kick off the interview. So Amy, would you mind talk more about your bonding and connections with Women's Gala and how was the gala in prior years?
The gala is one of my all-time favorite events. I explained this at the last gala. All my life, I have almost always been the only Asian American woman in the room. When I was at Harvard Law School, I was the only Asian American person in my whole section of 150. When I was on Wall Street, I would often be the only Asian American woman in a whole conference room full of white guys. And now at Yale Law School, I am the only Asian American tenured faculty person. And I told a really funny story at the last gala where I received an award because I was really touched. And this is a true story, but back in 2000, the first year that I joined the Yale faculty, I forgot all about this faculty photograph. And it was everybody was lined up at the end of the yard, and I'd completely forgotten about it. And they were like, Amy, we're all waiting for you. So I go out into the courtyard and I see my whole faculty, like 60 white guys.
Wow.
And I'm back and they're like, hurry up. So I start running towards them. And about 15 yards before the whole group, I tripped and I fell. I fell on my face like a total face plant.
No way.
And I remember lying there and thinking, oh my gosh, Amy, I don't think you can recover from this. And the reason I told this story at the Women's Gala is I said that moment lying on the ground was sort of the exact opposite of how I felt at the Women's Gala. At that moment, face down on the ground, I felt so alone, total outsider, some weirdo. And at the Women's Gala, I always feel like I'm with a group of kindred spirits.
Right.
People who have probably experienced a lot of the same things that I've experienced. And it's like being in a sisterhood.
Right.
So it's always one of the things I look forward to the entire year.
I love the way that you put it as sisterhood. So as a Tiger Mom, not only were you recognized by the Times Magazine as 100 most influential people, but also you sent your both daughters into Harvard. So I'm wondering what motivates you, and when you think about educating next generations, so would you say that passion, discipline, or courage plays a more important role to one's personal success?
That's a great question. I actually think it's a false dichotomy to say, do you think that they should pursue their passion or have self-discipline or what was the last one? Hard work or
Courage.
or courage. Yeah. I'm really proud of my two daughters, but not because they went to this school or that school, but honestly, because they have grit. I think that in life, the older I get, all of us, no matter how seemingly successful, we fail. We have really down times. I've been through some really bad moments, even just in the last 5-10 years. So what I see the real goal of tiger parenting being is instilling a deep inner strength, and a kind of confidence that says, look, I believe in you more than anyone. And you're a really special person, but life is not going to be easy. And you should just, you are worth so much. Even if you fail, just get up and try again, and you will be a star. And that's for me, the real message of tiger parenting. It's not Harvard or Yale or, all these degrees. It's kind of instilling a very meaningful kind of inner strength that really allows you to pick yourself up off the ground. I mean, in my case, literally,
Exactly.
when you fall on your face and and, just kind of lets you be the best you that you can be.
Yeah, deep inner strength, so inspiring. And now that I learned success is not defined in just one way, it's defined in a lot of ways. And most importantly, if someone can be there to support you and know your value, that would be the best thing.
Yeah.
So my next question is, do you believe in destiny? And then do you think that one's fortune can be trained?
I am a really superstitious person. I feel so blessed. I feel like I've had the luckiest life. I really have. And this is crazy. My social security number is filled with eights. My cell phone is 8888888. And as you know, eight is a lucky number.
Exactly.
My birthday is all eights. But more seriously, I think we make our destinies. And I think it's actually related to the previous question. I think we all have a choice of, we can look at our lives at any given point as a total disaster. Everything is against me. I have the worst luck. Or, I'm lucky to be alive. I'm still alive. I still have a brain.
Yeah.
I still have agency. And I think if you look at it that way, then it's kind of mixed. I think that we have the power to control our own destinies. That doesn't mean that we have the power to make everything go smoothly.
Yeah.
It's disaster after disaster. But I think we have the power to take whatever attitude we want and to kind of look at the world in a certain way. And I've always been an optimist.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess I can definitely resonate that because like every time when I fail or like, had a hard time, and then when I open my phone and see like a number like 6 or 8, something like that, I feel just so happy. And I was like, this is my destiny.
I know.
Okay, so next question is, after 13 years since the bestseller book, The Battle Hymn of Tiger Mother was published, what is the most important thing in your life now? Would you answer that question differently?
My children, my two daughters are still the most important thing,
Yeah.
family. And I'm very lucky. My 87-year-old parents are still alive. So family is still the most important thing. I am most proud that my daughters are strong and happy. They have tons of friends and they like to come home.
Yeah.
And they're always calling me. In fact, they're mad at me. Like, why don't you answer my texts? So I feel like I really launched them and they're independent. I think the one thing that's different now is that, being older now, I've had friends pass away. I've had, there's a lot of sadness in the world. So now when I think back when my girls were 4 and 6, I feel like I was so obsessed. It was like, oh my God, this exam, this recital, this, so my only advice to younger moms and younger career people is give yourself a break. Like at the time it feels like, oh my gosh, if I don't get this, the world is going to collapse.
Right.
Or if this exam doesn't go well, we will never get to any college. And as a person with a little bit more experience now, there's much more give. There's much more leeway, and there really are much more important things in life, like family, health, friendship, joy, and kind of generosity and giving. So I'm still myself. I would not really do that much differently. But I think just as the years roll on and you see what happens, just to try to encourage people to realize how lucky they are, just to, just to be alive, actually, just to be in a beautiful world.
Yeah, you have to be creative to be lucky. And
Yeah.
but that sounds like a really ideal mother and daughter relationship.
Not too bad.
Not
It's
too
not
bad.
perfect. I don't want to sugarcoat. Parenting is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah. Okay, so next question is a really interesting one. We're all curious about, is there a woman that you admire and why? And also, how do you think she embodies resilience to you?
There are so many women that I admire. But if you mention resilience, weirdly, this just it happens to be that I just read a biography of her. But I think I really, really admire Catherine Graham.
Wow.
She was actually just a mother, like me, and her husband and her father were the ones running the Washington Post. And then there was a tragedy. Her husband actually took his life. And at that point, I mean, that's the kind of thing that I don't think I could deal with. I'm really strong. I can do this. I can run. I can fight through. But when it comes to something like a tragedy within the family, I don't know if I could pick myself up. So the fact that she not only survived, but became herself the head of the Washington Post, and then built it to greatness and was a mother at the same time and then broke the whole Watergate scandal. So to me, that's like a really great example of resilience because for me, that's like rock bottom. You know,
Right.
I feel like I would just be in bed crying the whole time. The idea that you could pick yourself up and then take over the company as a woman, you know,
Right.
and where nobody had ever done that before, you know, certainly not in their family. And then take the company to such great heights and, you know, create historic breakthroughs like the Watergate exposure. I think that's really something admirable.
Wow, that's huge. And you admire Catherine and you yourself as a female role model. What is your understanding of female leadership? And also, is there anything you want to say to the women in our generation and also the next generation?
You know, I don't think there's one kind of female leadership. And really, I know this sounds like a cliche, but it took me a long time to learn this. Be yourself. There were 10 years to be when I was a Yale law professor. I was trying to be like this person, like this person. I even tried to dress like them. I tried to sound like them. And finally I realized, no, this is not working well. You know, I'm just going to be so much better off making the best of who I actually am. So if I were to give one piece of advice to all the young women out there, it is go for it. Never not do something out of fear. You know, everything that has turned out to be the most important and the most precious and the most exciting for me is something that I almost chickened out of doing. So just go for it and you're going to be great.
Well, you are you, you're the best you, and just go for it.
Yes.
So here it comes to the last question. So what do you look forward to the most for this year's gala? And is there anything you want to say to the audiences who are watching this video?
This is going to sound so silly, but I love seeing everybody so glamorous and laughing and having fun. You know, it's these women who come to the gala are so high powered. They are fun, modest, personable. You meet them, you think like you're just with a bunch of girlfriends. So it's really inspiring to be with women that have hit it out of the park. They're like leaders, but you see all the different ways that they've done it. And basically, it's just a really fun party.
Yeah.
You know, and you just get to, you know, so I most look forward to, I think, connecting with old friends, but also meeting new friends. And maybe I'll meet some through this video.